second round na yung UFL, kaya may tatanong si Berta.
Because we have our Kaya boys here.
Really quick.
Which team is your antithesis?
You can go first. Who do you think it is? And I'll
Okay,
tell.
so Jason.
Well, I think right now there are a handful of teams that are good, and every time Kai steps on the field, it really is 50-50. But the team that leaves that sting in me is definitely Global. We played Global twice. Well, once in the I Conserve Invitational, once in the Cup, and then now in the league. And each time, Global has been the victor. I mean, not to take anything away from them, but on those days, I mean, they were the better team. And that's one team that I always look forward to playing, and it's those kind of games where I want to do well, I want to perform well as everyone around me, because those are the games where I get, like champions are made, quote unquote champions are made, because once you can play well in a game like that, then you could do it any other time. But until then, I mean, Global still has the upper hand on us.
So Global with Carly and Angel.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? From a few years ago when the UFL started, and Global and the UFL started about the same time, right? Global has pretty much been our main rival. In the early going, we had them, and as of late, they have our number. So now it's our turn to come back the second round and make bawa with from this last game. Right? Not a pretty game to watch, anyways. But I'd say there's two right now. Global definitely is the bigger one, because we've been fighting them for so long, wanting to win every time we play against them, and we haven't done that in the recent history, right? So the other one that we've been playing, and it's always a tough battle every time we play them, is Loyola. I think Loyola right now is the team to beat. Everyone's gunning for them because they have the young husbands. They get all the publicity. We want to make
They're
sure.
They're wearing bright orange. It's hard to miss
Yeah,
them.
exactly, right? So they have great players and a great system, and I think we match up well against them if we can play and play our game and be positive. So it's anybody's game anytime the top teams step on the field, and these two teams are the ones we really want to show what we're made of, and so far we haven't done that. And I think the second half we have a chance to rectify ourselves.
I mean, you mentioned two teams already, Global and Loyola. But it seems like if you actually look at the standings in the UFL, it looks like it's going to be a 4-horse race moving forward unless all the top four starts to tumble.
Exactly.
And you mentioned the other two. What about Stallion and because the other one is you?
Yeah. Stallion's a tough team. You watch them early in the season. They were gutting out a lot of good wins, and I think they're the surprise of the UFL so far. They were virtually unheard of, and they come up from second division and do an amazing job.
Was it first 4 games, 4 wins?
Yeah.
First 4 games, 4 wins.
And they weren't the easiest of games either. So they had some tough games those first 4 and showed well. So they definitely have a chance. But they're new, and they're not like we've never played Stallions before this UFL. It's always been Global, or before Meralco, Loyola, and Loyola's always been there, but we killed them in the past. But now that they have Meralco there, different story. So these two are the ones that we play.
And now that we talked about the third, let's talk about you guys. There's a bit of a change in your team, and which grabbed a couple of headlines after that loss to Global. There was a major change in what's going to happen now with Gaia.
Okay. Well, to clarify things, we didn't sack Kuto. We didn't sack him at all. It was just, I guess, almost a power struggle. You have a coach that wants what he feels is best for the team. We're going to train through the Holy Week break, 3-4 days, whatever it was he wanted to do. And the management, from an outside perspective, saw that the morale of the team was down, and they felt that they need a break. So management said no, let's let them have a break. And of course, any coach that doesn't have control over his team is not going to be happy. So he resigned, and Kaya accepted the resignation, and unfortunately, we have to move forward, right? So we can't dwell on this past, and you know, we have Kale Alvarez, an experienced player and you know, trainer. Hopefully, he can lead us in the next couple of weeks to victory. He's interim coach, and we have potential, 4 or 5 other candidates to come in and coach if need be.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a loss that we don't have Katias on board anymore. I mean, he's a man of great experience.
Wealth of experience.
And I mean, you could learn a lot from him. And like Armand said, that it seemed that it was, I mean, you could just generalize it as some power struggle. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't just the Holy Week break. I mean, maybe that was the straw that broke the camel's back. But I mean, there was past instances where they didn't meet eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there was just that lack of compromise. And as we discussed earlier, I mean, compromise is really, especially on our team, is what is the nucleus of our team. And unfortunately, he can't continue with us. But I mean, even with our first practice after Holy Week, the morale was different. There was a lot more positive. People were geared up to practice and get ready. I mean, half the season's done. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've lost 2 games. We still have a makeup game, but we're in a good position, and hopefully now we can take this and complete our team. Right? I mean, I think holistically we have a good team, but now we just have to gel the parts, glue it to make that team that's going to make a great run this second round and hopefully vie for a league championship.
Well, like I said, family. Everyone's got to come together, even more so now. Kuto, great person. I love the guy. He's a great person, and I wish him the best. You know, it's scary to see him out there with the heart condition he had, but I love him. He's a great guy. So there's no animosity between us anyway.
What can we expect from Kaya in your next couple of games, and when will those be, and against who?
Well, one thing is, unfortunately, I won't be playing the next game. Still recovering from a re-aggravated knee injury.
I heard you're looking for a doctor that will allow you to play. Looking for a 3rd and 4th opinion for a guy that will allow you to play.
Exactly. But as Cristal always tells me, you know, small sacrifice now means, you know,
I
bigger
better start
win.
mentioning my wife.
Oh my gosh.
Georgia, I love you. He said Cristal so many times. I'm starting to get. I know my wife's gonna watch this and feel bad.
Just say small sacrifice now. Tell her small sacrifice now. Bigger things in the future.
Bigger things. I love you. I love you so much. Okay.
I mean, but with that being said, I mean, we definitely have a complete team. We have personnel who could definitely step up and
Someone texted me.
and take my
Ali's coming
position.
back soon, I hear.
Hopefully Ali's coming back, and hopefully when the 2 of us are healthy, we can start organizing a system as well as a lineup that will be much better in the future. But I mean, until now, we definitely have the personnel. Now we have a coach who's driven to perform well, and also teammates who want to perform well, because we do have something to prove. I mean, we do have great players, and we want to show the other teams in the league that, you know, we belong at least, you know, in a race for a league championship, because I mean, we work hard for it.
Very quickly, we talked about the 4 teams. In the second round, who of the other 6, between Pasargad, Green Archers, Army Navy, Air Force, and Nomads, who can actually spring a surprise in the second round and maybe even challenge the guys up in the top?
Well, Air Force is always a force to be reckoned with, so you can never count them out.
Exactly.
Another team, I'd say, Pasargad has a lot of new
guys,
players.
yeah?
A lot of new players. Unfortunately, they didn't. They were vying. Them and Archers were vying for a sponsor. A big sponsor is coming in with one of those 2 teams, and I think the Green Archers got them. We will see in the near future.
And everyone talks about what's happening on the top. Let's talk about what's happening in the bottom. Who do you think is going to get relegated quickly, Jason?
Who's the bottom? Navy? I think Navy's gonna drop.
Yeah.
I mean, I think just because, like you said, Pasargad has new acquisitions, and it's just gonna. I mean, which is good for us. It's good for the league that competitions get more fierce, and I don't think Navy has the power
Or the capability.
Yeah.
Navy, 2 years running, man. Navy's been in that bottom position. They'll be lucky if the UFL says we're going to expand again next year. If the UFL says that, then they stay. But they didn't make a big enough improvement this last season, so Navy, out the door. Goodbye.
And we are out the door as well.